This day with those phantoms down there. Good morning and welcome to another edition of Roadhouse Live. We are live. Today is October 4th, 2023. Bender, we have yet another day of October. Yesterday was Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday. And then we get Friday all over again. And then they do a whole nother week after that. It's like we are rolling here, man. Rolling.
Thank you for all of those reminders.
Yeah, I think it's important that we establish.
I'll make some notes.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of that Jolt's job number yesterday had everybody scratching their head, going, "What the fuck? What is this? What is this?" And then we get the worst ADP data since January 22. Like, talk about missing previous and missing expectations. Like that is just a miss. That's like a company coming out, after saying like everything's great, everything's fine, and going like, you know what? We're going to have business. We're just not going to do this anymore. It's just not working. That was the jobs data. So we did get a spill down on the dollar. Oddly enough, yesterday, late in the day, last night, there was a very large volume candle up near the highs on the dollar, and it has not gotten near it since. Don't know if that big volume was, buy, sell, short, whatever you want to call it. I do know that came in on the dollar, and we have not made a higher high on it since the fairly massive volume over there that came through on a 15-minute candle. So something to kind of keep in mind, maybe a little bit, maybe a chill, maybe a cool, maybe not. Either way. So we're coming in today where flow has been certainly bearish with some upside YOLOs. That is our morning and day. That's kind of what we're staring down within this moment. We did have some phantom prints come back through. We had a couple on SPY yesterday down at the 419 level. We had multiple prints on SPY come in before the data release into the 419s and then Q 352-ish. To my eye, I don't know that we hit those levels. Maybe we did overnight. That was a pretty big bounce off the bottom, especially in relation to where we are now. But that's data there. We do get data, we get actually a decent amount of important data today that we should be aware of. We get crude oil inventories. We get Bowman jibber jabbering. We get ISM manufacturing, non-manufacturing PMIs today. So we do get we get factory orders, S&P Global PMI. We get a good amount of data, which obviously is going to have a direct impact on the dollar. So we did have the jobs data, which is apparently important in some arenas. They came out, and that data was, you know, not good for the dollar, not good for the economy. But at the end of the day, this is the result of an over aggressive Fed that in its entire mission is, let's say it together, demand destruction. That's their goal, to destroy. That is their goal, not to create, not to build. Their goal is to destroy. Um, and so there you have it. We got some destructions. Bender, I'm going to move it over to you because it's like I don't think that there's anything worth really talking about other than the charts and the data and the dollar and the relation of the move to the data prints to the dollar. I think everything else is bullshit noise right now. Um, we know what the game is. We know it's the Fed. We know it's their policy. And we know that that data that everybody's been saying has been lagging is slowly but surely starting to catch up, which you have to start looking at it from the standpoint is, have rates peaked? What is and is not priced in? That is the game, Bender. So you show me on the chart if it's priced in or not. Show me. Show me.
Show you if it's priced in or not, huh? There's not an indicator for that. But I'm going to start with the daily here, and we're going to look at kind of everything holistically. The dollar came up. I had this high on the daily right here, 107.19. Above that, you got kind of one left before we get into this candle up here. Doesn't mean it'll go there or anything like that, but that is 107.99. So it did peek its head. If I kind of zoom into this, you can kind of see these two little bounces here before pretty decent push down, and then the next bounce. So on the daily, if we're looking at, okay, well, what was the volume? What made it pop? That little push to take this out on the daily. We'll see. Maybe we get one more day. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's done. We'll see. But that next level to kind of look for would be that 107.99 as far as potential upside goes. Below on the dollar, you can see this candle right here. We had this sell down. This candle's low, push high above that. That previous high on the daily from months ago. This will be the level that I'll be watching if we can get down below it. You can see we got this daily fair value gap in here. If we can get down below that, 105.64, about $1 down from here, that would be an area I would watch to see if it gets a reaction, or if it pulls back above, or if this area becomes resistance, then we could start to see a bit of a decline there on the dollar. Now, looking at everything else, you'd see NQ, we talked about a couple days ago, it had wicked this level, got a bounce. Now we came down, we wicked it again. I zoom in. It made a slightly higher, just barely, slightly higher low there. Now, is this double bottom-ish? Is this slightly higher low, or is this yet another target?
Mm-hmm.
We will see.
Those phantoms bother me being down there.
Yeah.
Now, they did come in before data was released. And we have plenty of phantoms that, have not played out, right?
Of course.
But it's those pre-market phantoms that are within range that they kind of, yeah.
Well, now looking at the ES, so far the move from this high up here, 46.84, to where we are now is not quite 10%, 9.58%. And, 10% pullback ish is not necessarily out of the norm, right? If we take 2020, 2021 kind of out of the picture during, QE when it was pretty much straight up, it's been a lot of years where we see these pullbacks that are, 8, 9, 10, 11%, before, they turn around and then go push higher. So maybe we're kind of in that range. I still see these lows down here on the ES. It could certainly, go attack those, but just looking at the daily here, looking at the Dow breaking this level, we kind of been talking about this area, this 33,233.
Yeah, the Dow went red on the year yesterday, right?
Yeah. No. I mean, I'm looking. This level down here is back in March.
But its annual return is red instead of green.
Oh,
right?
Sure. Anyway, so you can see this, like, where it bounced there, that has been taken out. The NQ, took out the previous double bottom down into that daily fair value gap. Now let's see what the ES does, right? If it decides that it doesn't want to come down here and take out 4,200, then maybe we've got a shot at kind of being close. I think it's kind of in this area. I know I've been saying that, and we really haven't moved a whole lot since we started talking about it, right? Being below the 200 on the daily, just below that trend line. In the grand scheme of things, it hasn't really moved a ton since we started talking about, I think we might be close. And maybe we are, maybe we aren't. I don't know, but we're still kind of in that area, and I'm still looking for and waiting for kind of that signal, that sign that tells me we get that, again, 4-hour market structure shift that says, okay, yep, now we can start pushing up. Zooming in a little bit, let's go to a 60-minute, and I'm going to get rid of, this. I don't want that on there. Don't need that anymore. Okay, go into the 60-minute. You can see we got this 60-minute fair value gap in here that we left behind. We took out kind of all the stops, all the sellers right in here. We took all that out, right? So this push right here that extended this move and then rebound, I'm looking at this as a potential setup. Hasn't necessarily confirmed anything yet. It just poked its head above it. But if we can push back above, say 42.78.5 and hold it, I think it sets up a run back at 4,300, right? Round hole number, not too far off from here. Sets up a potential run and retest of this trend line. Right, like that would come in, 43.10 or so. But it needs to get above 42, let's say 42.80 and hold. Above 43.1775, 43.1725. Really not a whole lot as far as the 60-minute goes until this area up here, 43.35.75. We can pick some stuff out on a 15-minute along the way. But bigger picture, again, 60-minute, these are the levels that matter. And to my eye, above that area, above 43.35, starts to look like, okay, maybe the bottom's in. Maybe we start to, from there, maybe we start making higher lows and higher highs. And I want to see that on the longer time frame, right? On the 60-minute here, every move, lower high, lower low, right? We had a couple in here, but this move would have had to take out up here. This was the leg down, starts making its way up. It crosses one small level here, barely takes out this level before selling off again. I would have wanted to see it up here. And same thing goes with where we're set up now. This starts to look like, okay, all right, let's see if we can put something together. I think this is the big level, 43.71.25. I think if we can push above that and hold it, to me, that would look like that shift, because this bounce high that took out this high, took out all these stops, sellers stepped in and sold all the way back down to a new low, right? So above there, to me, and the reason I've said, like, I think we can be patient and I think we'll have time, is because we get that move and I realize, okay, well, that's 100 points from here. I don't want to miss out on 100 points. Well, we can try to scalp stuff in between, but for me, we make that move, and then I think there's another, 3, 4, 500 that we can play with on the push back up. I mean, this started this move down all the way up here at 45.08. Right? So there's plenty of room once we kind of get the beginnings of that reversal. As far as downside goes, what's left? Obviously, we put in this nice bounce pre-market, 42.34.75, 42.35.75. We've got going into the 15-minute, we have a 15-minute fair value gap in here. So on a push down, this is the first area I would be looking to see kind of what it does with that. Does it want to come down and retest that or fill it in? And then this candle's low, 42.58 half. If it gets below that and it cannot recover and get back up, then we're probably coming back down here.
All right. Very good. You got anything else?
No, I think that's it. I'll take a look at the clocks and I'll
Cool.
see if anything lines up on the 13-minute, and I'll give that at the end.
Sonny, what you got for us, man?
Morning, everyone. So the big news was Apple getting a downgrade yesterday by KeyBank. They're citing valuation concerns and struggles in the U.S. sales. And what didn't help matters was somebody posted data that a bunch of Apple executives sold their shares yesterday and the day before. So it took a little dip, had gap down, recovered most of it. It's sitting at this large dark pool, 7 million shares at 171.66, where it's hovering right now. Uber's introducing a return package shipping service for a flat fee. It's available in the metro area. So they are just trying to utilize their Uber drivers, Uber Eats, all of those different type of services that they can now offer. We did see a lot of flow in Intel yesterday, and we were talking about it. So Intel did put out news after hours that they are going to spin off their programmable solutions group (PSG) into a standalone business. Um, got a nice spike yesterday. Also this morning, I think it carried on further. Definitely something to watch.
Yeah, we
Bank of
picked up some of those calls yesterday. I don't know if
yeah,
anybody's still in them with me.
yeah. That was a good pick, actually. So Bank of America is predicting a recession. It's telling its rich clients holding gold and real assets, investing in international value stocks, and consider selling tech stocks. Um, SEC has challenged Coinbase motion to dismiss the lawsuit. So SEC had sued Coinbase for operating illegally without registration in the US. Definitely something to watch. And UAL, they've exercised their purchase option for 50 more Boeing 787 Dreamliners. Those are the big boys that carry like 5 to 600 people. And Airbus 321 neos. So they are looking to do more improvements on their routes on the international circuit versus focusing within the US, which makes a lot more sense. Those tickets are the most profitable. Upgrades, downgrades, upgrades, FLR, GM, PCG, OLPX, downgrades, Apple, Nova, On, R, right? I think that's Ryder Trucks.
So, Sonny, when they upgrade Apple and it goes down, that means when they downgrade it, it goes up, right?
Well, it did fill the gap.
Okay, I just want to make sure that,
Yeah.
that I'm keeping score at home properly.
Yes, yes. Don't worry, I'm keeping it for you.
Thank you.
Yep. Yep. And the other two downgrades are Run and TSE. Moving on to events.
TSC, is that a China?
TSE. No, I don't think so. I'll look it up what it is.
Okay.
For events, we have Costco is having the September sale results today. Okta is at 2 conferences. That's a nice mover whenever it sees flow. COHR, we've seen quite a bunch of dark pool and flow into that one. And
What's that? What does that do?
COHR was, I know Mel plays that one quite a bit. Let's see what they do.
Ooh, buddy.
Coherent Corp, I have no idea what they do. But I'll find out. Dark pool wise, nothing too significant. There were a bunch of small names that came through last night. But yeah, I didn't see the retail names. Did get a whole lot of dark pool, but we also saw XRT taking a hit the other day. So, I mean, the big ones on that were TJX, Urban, VSCO, Target. Some dark pool into the China names, but nothing too significant. They're still on a holiday, so again, there may be some movement to the upside once they start releasing their data. How many people spend, how many billions of dollars in casinos and shopping on JD, Baba, things like that.
See, I'm holding back my what's really going on in my head right now. So I
Yes,
have a lot of
please.
things.
Thank you.
I
No.
am really. This is self-control to the max right here, as far as
Yes,
what I'm exerting.
I truly appreciate it.
Well, I don't
I do.
care what you appreciate. I'm just
Yeah.
telling you that,
Okay.
that should I do it anyways? No, I
No,
shouldn't.
No, you should not.
Okay. Just the perfect no.
no.
Yeah,
And
he was very
that's it.
clear.
Yeah, that's it. Let's go to Stanky quickly.
Stonkington.
Hello.
Before we begin, Stonkington, I think that the question was posed yesterday. Does Stonkington really know how much I appreciate him? Stonkington, do you know how much I appreciate you?
Oh wow. I don't know. Why don't you recap for me so I'm aware?
Well, that was it. That
Oh,
was a
okay.
recap. It's like,
Cool. Wow. Thanks. Oh, that's good. Well, let's see what we got. Let's see if you can continue to appreciate some setups, some charts, some things.
can we make this National Appreciation Day, Stonk Appreciation Day? Can we do this?
Mark it October 4th. Write it down.
I think look, honestly, man, you did really, really good work yesterday in identifying what we were in, what type of environment we were in, the fake pop and drop. It's like you absolutely nailed it to the T yesterday. So it's like really great, really, really great work yesterday, Stonk. So I think it's worth the hat tip and the acknowledgement. Great job yesterday.
Good stuff. Much appreciated. Studying pays off. That guy, Mel Brooks. He's got some good stuff. All right, so another one we've been learning from Mr. Larry Williams. We'll take a look at what he's got on deck. We do have a smash day potentially. It would be a setup to the upside, but SPY would need to make a 5-point move up to trigger. Last smash day we had was, again, it's a failed breakout concept. So we had this candle close above the prior day's high. Larry would be looking to short that low, and he got a nice trade off it yesterday. So because yesterday we closed below the prior day's low, looking for a setup to the upside. And we do have that potentially on the SPY and the Qs. Qs, we got an alert if we pop that high from yesterday, and then definitely the IWM. That thing's been getting smoked. That was probably the best smash day when we closed above the prior day's high and short that low. That was a nice one for Larry. So we'll get some alerts popping in the room if those play out. Jump over to the NASDAQ. All right, so kind of busy chart. We'll talk through it. Let's see, below, I've been talking about the order block, which we would think of this candle here. This red candle is a bull who wanted to get in cheaper. So we throw on 0.5 fibs and just mark it, and we're holding above. So if we pull back, I want to see what happens at that 14,693.75. We've got this 4-hour fair value gap that we've traded up into that gives us room up into this other order block line, which is going to be the midpoint of that candle. We had some reactions to that area in the past couple of weeks. So if we get up there, I'm going to be looking at that 14,859.75. So kind of things I'm looking for. And then zooming out, kind of been looking at this, see if we can do this massive flag, which obviously we can bounce around in here without, just going right back up. So some of the levels in this area I'll be watching on the NASDAQ. Jump over to the Russell. And so we've been talking about these levels down here on the daily, where would any other stops be sitting? And we took these, so now it's like maybe we need to look for these equal lows, and then they even got these down below. So ugly over here on the Russell. Jump back over to the 4-hour. If we were going to go up, we've got this gap that fills right here, 1755.2, and then the yellow box is going to be a daily gap. So we'll see if we can fill that. And then we've been stalking this level for a while now, just because a lot of candle bodies were banging around off of it. So that is part of this. We got the daily gap, which is this candle's high to that one's low, and this is in there too. So we got a couple things to keep on watch on the way up for the Rusty. If we take a look at individual tickers, we have Tesla with the daily inside bar. Tesla bull, maybe you want to avert your eyes, but that's a pretty obvious left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So we'll see what we get. Above, I'm going to be looking at 251. A lot of reactions to that level, round number. If we were to go down, similar, we got a lot of reactions to this 243.45. Support, resistance, support. So we'll see what we get on that one for Tesla. And then a lot of talk about Apple. Check out Apple. All right, so Apple, we got the battle of the dark pools above. Going to be watching above, same as yesterday, 172.65. If we can pop that, then we get into the big one, 173.57. Below, going to be looking at this 170.90. Support, bounce off it. And then just in case, I've got marked the round number 170 below. We had this would be technically a bearish megaphone set up to the upside. It looks like we're trying to retest the bottom of it, pausing. And then we kind of got that trend line going there on the bottom too. I didn't want to get it too, Bender's taught us those pitchforks and whatnot, but so maybe, just some other ideas to keep in mind what could be going on there below on Apple. And that's all I've got.
Thank you, Stonk. So I don't have anything else. We have 11 or 10 minutes until open. see what they give us. Again, we have multiple data points throughout the day and into the afternoon. So just be aware that you're looking at the calendar and seeing what could be coming next. I think the dollar is going to be a pretty big player. Whether or not they can keep it down based off of these additional data points is going to be really the key to the day, in my opinion. Flow, for the most part, is a very bearish tilt. So bearish that it wouldn't take a whole lot to get it to squeeze. There's that also. So be aware, be smart, be diligent. Let's have a good day. We'll see you guys soon.
See you in a few.